day. Today it's going to involve two things. It's going to involve this 2018 Triumph Street Scrambler, which I bought a few days ago. This is a brand new bike, never been started, no kilometres on the clock. Over here, this bike I just picked up yesterday. It's a 2018 Duke 390, never been started again, brand new bike. I'm going to run both these bikes together over a period of say 10,000 kilometres. Just see how they both perform. So we've got a $7,000 bike which I purchased brand new in Australia against a bike that's almost $10,000 more expensive. So I'm a rider, been on and off motorcycles for, I come back into it about 7 years ago. Prior to that I had a 40-year break. So I'm actually 67 years old. Maybe too old for this bike, but I don't know, I thought I'd just come back, give it a workout, see what it's like. I'd probably be one of the oldest riders to ride one of these Dukes around, but I don't know, I just thought I'd get on and just see what it's like to ride one of these, and we'll see how it goes. And I'd like to ride this bike about, I don't know, maybe 10,000 kilometres, see if it's as good or as bad as what they reckon, see if this Triumph's as good as bad as what they reckon, and see if this bike here for $7,000 comes up anywhere near as good as this one just on a test, or is this bike here really as good as what they think it is, or what they say it is? Or is this one here as much fun as what they reckon? So the best idea is for me to put this 2018 model 390 Duke against this 18 Triumph, get them out on the road, trial them out, put one against the other, and in the end say to yourself, if you only could afford $7,000 to buy one of these, would you be happy? Or would you look upon one of these and say you'd rather have one of these or not? Or if you go back down to this new model XR190 Honda, would you be satisfied with that bike too? Either way, they're all great bikes, or hopefully they're all great bikes, because these two bikes have never been started. This one here I've only ridden 600 kilometres. So overall, I hope that you think about subscribing to this channel, see how these both brand new bikes, and more importantly, it won't be too much about the trial, although it'll feature a fair bit. Like I said, we'll start them up, check the speedos, you'll see them both come up, I don't know, they should come up with under 10 kilometres per bike, and we'll be able to get on this one and we'll be ready to race. And I hope you enjoy it. And I hope, more importantly, I enjoy it. This will be the first time I turn this keys on the Triumph, so we'll just get a speedo reading on it. And it comes up as exactly 4 kilometres. So we've got 4 Ks on the Triumph. We'll now swing our way over to the KTM and we'll be ready to race. We will shortly. And the KTM comes with 2 kilometres on the clock. So there we are, one's got 2 and one's got 4 Ks. So we know both brand new bikes, and this is how we're going to start our test. Anyway guys, I've moved the bikes around now, I've got the Triumph here out of the way, and we can do a bit of a talk now on this KTM. So, you know, I've had a few people sort of knock the idea when I said I was going to buy a KTM 390 Duke, and you know, I mean, if we all get on the internet, and or especially on YouTube, and start researching KTM Dukes, you get a fair few knockers of the bike, and then you get a few people that have owned them, they've had nothing but problems with them, and it's not what you call, you know, like all things, you get people here knocking them, and they've come up with quite a few problems. And some of the problems what you find on with the bikes is people have been riding them in the wet and have got instrumentation problems where they've fogged up and condensation has hit the instruments, and they've had a lot of problems with that and glitches and stuff like that. We just call them numerous problems. There's this noisy fan which is really prevalent on the 017 models. This is apparently an 018 model with an upgrade of fan mod, and which may be a bit quieter, it's hard to say. But you know, they say that this one doesn't cut in and out quite as much, but still maybe as noisy as the other one, but not quite as noisy. So we'll see what happens in that line. So, but apparently they do make a bit of noise, but more so in city driving where I'm out in the country, and hopefully it won't affect me nowhere near as what it would as if I was running in city traffic all the time. There's also been a few complaints about this headlight been a bit rattly and shaky, and sometimes carries on a bit and doesn't want to work, and you know, like, has its problems. But this one here appears it so far to be nice and tight, so doesn't appear a problem there. So, you know, I think all this depends on how much you pay for a bike, and like I said, this only costs $7,000, so you know, you only get what you pay for, and so far it appears alright to me. Now guys, just in case you're not aware of it, like, this KTM Duke is assembled in India, and the other Indian bike in Australia is the Royal Enfield. So if you look at it from a dollar point of view, like I said, this bike comes in at approximately $7,000, $6,995. Now the other Indian motorcycle that come in is the Royal Enfield, and the Royal Enfield bike in this category would be the Royal Enfield C5 350, which comes in at roughly about $6,600. Or you could go for a Himalayan. They come in at around $7,000. So either one of them really aren't in the same sort of category as this bike. This is more like an outright sports bike, where those are just plotters along. You know, one puts out roughly under 20 horsepower. You know, the 350 in the Royal Enfield, and you know, like under 18 horsepower. Against this one at 44 horsepower, it's hardly any competition there. And I've had a lot of the Enfields in, I've had a 350 before, and I've had quite a lot of the 500s. I've also had the 650 Interceptor and the GTs, and yeah, well, only one I haven't had is the Himalayan itself, but you know, I've had all the other stuff, and it will be interesting to do like a comparison or a rerun through your memory of what it's like to have one of those type of bikes. And well, in actual fact, to be honest, that I was just doing a deal with a guy on the phone today, and I have actually bought a 350 Classic 500 again, so probably within a week or so I'll have another one of those sitting here again, and it'll be in amongst these other bikes here now. So I didn't plan to go out and buy another Enfield, but it looks like I have bought another one, so it'll join here too. So that deal looks like it's going to be done, so it'll be here too, so another one joins the ranks. But just saying that, this Duke hasn't really got much competition, so it'll be interesting to see what the build quality is like in a way. Like, I'll do a comparison between what I think the build quality is like on this Duke 390 compared to an Enfield, because Enfields really aren't built with much quality at all, to be honest. And I've had them, you know, my joke with an Enfield is buy a new one, and in most cases all the Enfields I've bought, I've always bought them brand new, and you buy them one day and the joke is you start fixing them same day. And like I said, all my experience with the Enfields have been brand new bikes, and it doesn't matter whether you're buying brand new or second hand, you start fixing them straight away. So it's a bit of a joke with them. And for those that are overseas and watching this video, like, Enfields aren't cheap in Australia. They might be cheap in India and places, other parts of the world, but you know, you buy a Classic 500 in Australia and that's going to cost you 9,000 Australian dollars. So you know, they're not cheap. And if you buy an Interceptor, well, that's going to cost you 10 grand. So you know, they don't give them away, so that's something to think about. We've got a 13.5 litre gas tank, which would get you 350, I think, kilometres of range, so that's a pretty good range for one of these tanks. Appears to have really good stopping power up front, and I think it's a 320mm front disc. This is a pretty interesting point on your hand grips here, or the displays. We've got backlit keys, so that's a very interesting point. So at night time when you're out there on the riding, you know, you can see what's going on. Another great feature is this nice little trellis frame. I mean, this bike has really got some nice features for the $7,000 price range. Like, I think they've really put it together nicely. Although from a personal experience, I don't think I'd be like sitting on that pillion seat, although the rider seat itself is pretty good. Well guys, thanks very much for taking the time to come into the channel and at least having a look at what's going on here today. And I think it's going to be interesting, and well worth your trouble to come back and have a look and see how this highly expensive Triumph backs up against this KTM 390 Duke. So, you know, when you look at it, this bike in Australia, like I said earlier in the video, if you've been looking at what's going on, rolls in at $7,000. So it's going to be interesting to see how, when I run this bike over, I think, 10,000 kilometre run between both bikes. The best thing about it, you know, both bikes are new, so we'll be running both bikes from scratch over a fair period of time. We'll see how they run, and we'll just see how this little Duke handles running around these Australian roads compared to this Triumph, which, although it's got 900 cc's, you know, the Triumph, it still only develops 55 horsepower for that 900cc motor, and you know, I think it puts out 60 Newton meters of torque. Just not sure exactly what this Duke puts out, but I know it puts out the 44 horsepower, so I'm not there. But you know, whichever way you look at it, this Duke's a pretty good looking bike for the 390cc's, and like, I might be a bit biased at the moment, but this Triumph might have cost me twice the amount of money dollar wise as what the Duke costs, but I wouldn't really actually say the Triumph is twice as good looking. This Duke's a really good looking little bike, and when I get out along the road, I wouldn't be surprised if I spend quite a lot of time on this Duke riding it around, because, you know, I reckon it's something you can get out along the road and throw it around through the corners and have a great deal of fun. So I'm looking forward to getting out on it and giving it a bit of a workout. So you know, I really think I could have a lot of fun on this. Looks almost like a little speed demon. So you know, I couldn't say that I'm not looking forward to getting out there, because I really am. So I think I've got a great looking set of wheels, this one. So I don't know what you think, but you know, throw it down on the comment, tell me what you think about it, but or which one you'd rather get on. Would you rather get on this Duke, or would you rather jump on this Triumph? You know, choice is something to think about. For those that don't know the channel, I did have the previous model Triumph that I traded in last week. I had the 865 2013 model, which I didn't have it all that long, but I sold it with 6,000 kilometres on it, and ended up, you know, like I said, traded in, buying this brand new version here. And you know, then all of a sudden I'd been watching YouTube videos on these Dukes, and I was fascinated by how good they look, and I've still got to say, this is a really good looking bike for the buddy too. So I think if anyone got here and say this isn't a nice looking bike, you know, they're very hard to please, because look at it, how could you not like this bike? You know, like I said, I'm 67 and I like the bloody thing, so if you were in your 20s or just got your licence, how could you not like a bike like this? Yeah, if I was 20 or 18 or something like that, I reckon I'd be rap riding one of these around, and compared to the crap we used to have to ride back in the 70s, compared to now, you know, I think you'd think you were just it. So I don't know, you know, you might have different ideas now, but I think if you're looking back at what we had to ride compared to now, you know, you got everything. You got the dual channel ABS. You can switch the ABS from the either on, off, switch it to the just work on the front and work in super motor mode. You got all sorts of things on these bikes now compared to what you used to have once. Best thing at all that ever come, I thought, to the bikes was a fuel injection, and that alone was everything you want. The only thing we don't get now is a Kickstarter, so apart from that, well, you know, some people don't want a Kickstarter, wouldn't know what it was, so it doesn't really matter that much. But anyway guys, tell me what you think about this idea of comparing this bike here to the other and the old Triumph, and see what we reckon. And once again, throw a comment there, see what you think about the idea. We'll see what happens, and we'll get out and give these bikes a workout. And once again, I hope you enjoyed the presentation on it, and we'll see what happens. Once again, thanks for tuning in and having a look.